Hello there. Right, well, it seems that the UK government has finally got Tommy Robinson where they want him, probably locked up for a couple of years, out of sight, out of mind. They convicted him last year of contempt of court, and then they realised, hang on, the guy wasn't even in court. So they brought him back in on some more trumped up charges of basically reporting restrictions being broken and etc. Well, if you go on precedents, anyone else charged in this country of breaking reporting restrictions, they get a slap on the wrist and a small fine. So they can't throw him in jail for that. So from what I can tell, they're going to imprison him simply for upsetting Muslim rapists. Now, as we all know, Tommy Robinson is not everybody's cup of tea. And to some people, he's nothing more than just an arrogant man who's prone to acts of thuggish behaviour. And as founder of the EDL, he's an obvious racist. And with his stance against radical Islam, he's an obvious Islamophobe. And there's other people who think he's just simply a paid shill, paid by foreign interests to basically cause trouble in the UK. But then you got the Robinson supporters who believe him to be a working class hero. They believe him to be a true patriot who says it as it is and stands up for the rights of UK people. They believe that he stands up for the rights of UK soldiers and that he's out there exposing corruption in the media and in the government. And he's out there warning the UK of the effects of radical Islam in the UK. But no matter which side of the Tommy Robinson argument you come down on, I'm beginning to think now that it's not even relevant anymore because we're now looking at a much bigger picture. We're looking at our very own freedom and our own freedom of speech. And we're looking at a corrupt establishment which has shown that it will go to extraordinary lengths in order to suppress our freedom of speech if it doesn't fit their preferred narrative. So this isn't just the establishment assault on one individual. It's an assault on all our freedoms, and it's an assault carried out with such hypocrisy and such double standards. For instance, when Tommy's attacked by a milkshake, his perpetrator, a Muslim, is packed away in a taxi and sent on his way by the police. When one of their own, Nigel Farage, is attacked by a milkshake, it's front page news and his assailant is apprehended and tried. So they can paint this whichever way they want. They can harp on as much as they want about contempt of court and breaking reporting restrictions and blah, 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 blah. But the truth is this today, Tommy Robinson was tried in a kangaroo court. And the reason he was simply because he speaks out against Muslim rapists and Muslim terrorists and Muslim terrorism in the UK and the radicalisation of Muslims in UK mosques. He tries to expose corruption in the media, especially the BBC, just like he did when he exposed the lying, hypocritical producers of Panorama. And he exposes and tries to expose corruption in the government, a government and a media that facilitates this Islamic agenda which is in the UK today. But everything that Tommy Robinson says out loud, I believe there's millions of Britons in this country who are thinking the same things. They may not have the courage like Tommy does to say it out loud, but they are certainly thinking what he's saying. Because what he's doing is he's highlighting the iron grip that Islam has on this country. And he's highlighting the fact that the UK in the past 20 years has become swamped by immigrants and by Muslims and by Islam. So today, in my opinion, it's been a very, very dark day for the UK. Not just because of Tommy's conviction, but because of this. Today is the day when our government sent us a very stark warning. And the warning is this: either you toe the line and you follow their favoured narrative, or they will silence you and they will lock you up. And if they have to use trumped up charges to do so, they've no compunction at all in doing that. Because believe me, trumped up charges are no longer now just a relic from past fascist regimes. Trumped up charges are now a tool used by governments in the Western world to silence any critics of their leftist agendas. So be warned, yeah? If you speak out now against Muslims, or speak out against Islam, or speak out against the LGBTQ society, or speak out against media and government preferential treatment of these groups, be warned that they will try to destroy you. They will do everything in their powers to silence you. They will even go as far as to take away your livelihood, cost you your job, just like they did with Israel Folau in Australia. And in very extreme cases like today with Tommy Robinson, they will lock you up. Now, when we had the Brexit referendum in this country, millions and millions of right-minded British peoples, centrist and just right of centre people in this country, went to the polls and voiced their opinion on ballot boxes. Okay? We need them millions of people now to come back out and voice their opinions again. Because the truth is, in the UK now, enough is enough. And the people of the UK need to remember this. They need to remember their bloodline and where it came from. The blood running through the veins of the indigenous British people in this country. It wasn't inherited by slaves or by oppressed people. Your bloodline, the British people's bloodline, it's come from centuries and centuries of people who created and made their own destinies. So it's time now for the people of the UK to shake off this softness that has been seeping into them for the past 20 years. Time for the people to grow back their balls. It's time for them to stop being afraid to express their beliefs and their opinions. It's time for us in the UK to no longer bow down to the leftist agenda, to bow down to the Islamic agenda, to bow down to the LGBTQ agenda. It's time for us to stand up and be counted in order to prevent the continued indoctrination of our children into these leftist destructive agendas. Because no longer should the people of the UK stand by and watch as their culture and their heritage and their history and their sovereignty are all decimated right before their eyes. Now, over in Paris, you can get tens of thousands of protesters in yellow vests protesting against what they perceive to be wrongs by their government. The same in Hong Kong last week, hundreds of thousands of protesters. Even this weekend in London, there'll be the ridiculous sight of tens of thousands of people on a pride march, flaunting their abnormal lifestyle in our faces. But they have a right to be out there and marching for and speaking out for what they believe in. So we now need hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of right-minded British people out on the streets. We need them out there showing their discontent at the way this country is going. We need to be out there forcing this government to veer away from the destructive leftist path that inevitably will end up destroying the UK. Because in life, freedom of choice and freedom of speech and freedom of opinion and the freedom to express them, they are the most vital attributes in a society and the most vital attributes individually in life. Because without them, and this is where we're heading, we will become nothing more than slaves. So it's time now to stop the rot that has been festering in the UK and dragging it down for the past 20 years. Now, we want real presences. We just don't want keyboard warriors with plenty to say all over social media. You need feet on the street. We need hundreds of thousands of people on the street showing their feelings, getting out there, showing their true feelings and letting the establishment know that we believe it's time for a change. It's time for a change in attitude. And it's time for a change in the direction that the UK is taking. And we need to get out there. We just don't need to get out there for Tommy Robinson. But Tommy Robinson needs to be free, and he needs to be out there at the head of the force. Okay? But more importantly, this needs to be done for the good of the UK. It needs to be done to provide a decent future for the UK children. We need to get out on the streets and we need to force change, because this change in attitude will never come about unless it's forced. Forced by good people, forced by the good British people. The time for change is now. Till next time, take care.